Hi there folks, this is Tim with another Elite Dangerous live stream. This is live stream number 13, and on this live stream I'm continuing my journey on the Galactic Nebula expedition. This is a group of pilots that are making their way across the kind of left-hand side, which is what most people would call it, part of the galaxy, and stopping off at a few nebula locations on the way. Here is the galactic map where you can see the route that we're taking, and my current position is marked with the triangle there. We started off around Sol and went to waypoint 0. That's where everybody kind of met up. Waypoint 1, waypoint 2, 3, and hang on a minute, no, that's waypoint 2, and then this is waypoint 3 that we're actually heading to. I actually bookmarked something else for some other reason between there. Now my journey was a little bit different in that I went from here, stopped off at these two waypoints, and then crashed about here. So I then had to go back to the Sol system and start again and basically speed ran all the way to the second waypoint. Now I'm actually pretty close to the third waypoint now, which I have which I've named incorrectly in my waypoint list. Under 1,000 light years, so should certainly be able to get this done within this stream, and then that means this might only need to be the only Elite Dangerous stream that I need to do this week. So pretty happy with that. Obviously when we're done here on Saturday is when I actually need to be here for. We'll then move on to another waypoint, and obviously we're going to go in towards Sagittarius A and Jack's station, and there we go, all the way into the center. And then once I get there I may go up towards Beagle Point, which is the far side of the galaxy, or I may not. It just seems a little bit silly to waste the fact that I'm just slightly less than halfway there, you know, so that might be why I do it. Now, one of the things you'll notice on the screen if you watched the previous stream is that my health is up at 100%. Now, how did that happen? Well, I was sat on a planet at waypoint 2 and called in my ship, and it crashed into the cliff next to where I was parked in my little kind of SRV vehicle, and I went down to 82% hull, and obviously I was quite angry at that. You know, it was something that wasn't my fault. So I did post to the Frontier Help Twitter, and they restored my health to 100%. I didn't directly ask them for that, but I did express that I was a little annoyed, and this was their reaction.
Fuel scooping.
And I don't think they're wrong for doing it, but I really hope that they just kind of fix the issue with autopilot instead. And what they did say is that the autopilot is actually better in 2.2, which is the next update. So actually maybe by the time I get back from this journey, no future explorer will actually have to worry about that anyway. Hello to Domaldell in chat, which reminds me I need to actually make it so I can see the window that tells me if anybody's watching in Twitch as well. How are you today?
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
Hi to Jerome, how are you?
scooping.
I need to get back in my groove and make sure that I'm scanning things. If you missed it, Jerome, Frontier actually restored my hull to 100%. If you remember, it was on 82 because the autopilot had crashed into a planet. They restored it for me.
Frameshift drive charging.
I wonder if they did the modules too. Yes, they did. That was more than I expected them to do.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Fuel scooping.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good customer service. I basically whined on Twitter about what had happened and got contact, and it got fixed. Hi Andre, how are you?
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping.
Yeah, it's been I think the time that I play makes it very, very difficult to actually see other players. I think there's an overwhelming amount of European players that are on the expedition and playing the game in general, really. It's certainly, you know, not a game that is as popular with kind of the rest of the world, almost, as it is with British people. And that's possibly, you know, because of where the game comes from, the history, and the systems that the previous Elite games were actually popular on too.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yes, you can play with a mouse. The only thing that, I mean, I was going to say combat might be difficult, but there are people that play with a mouse full time that are actually decent fighter pilots. So I guess it's just getting used to those controls. When I when I'm doing kind of trading or anything like that in this game, you could even use these controls for exploration and things like that. But when I'm doing trading, I'll quite often use the keyboard, and I'll use my laptop watching TV. So you know, I'm quite comfortable even using keys. You know, so you're definitely not really prohibited from playing the game just because of not having a joystick. Yeah, it's definitely a very, very different feel than Star Citizen. Yeah, the flight physics and the way that this kind of hyperspace mode, which is called Super Cruise in Elite, works, is just all completely different to Star Citizen. I think they're still quite careful in this group, Andre, because it's always possible for someone to kind of infiltrate the group that wants to start trouble. If I wanted to start trouble, I mean, I know that most people, well, a lot of people that are on this expedition like aren't armed. Some of them won't be flying ships with shields, you know, to increase their jump range. But you know, the simple fact is that, you know, that I have weapons. You know, if I was someone that was wanting to cause trouble, then, you know, I could certainly do that for some of these explorers that are on this trip with me. So, and when I went to the first waypoint that was actually occupied by other people, what I did notice is that there were some big ships like mine. There were some Anacondas that, as I came into land, you know, they actually seemed like they were escorting me in. So, you know, I think that they're going to be quite careful. I actually just have to shut something off that might have a key on it, so I'm just going to make the screen invisible. Okay. There we go. Oops. Turned off the sound too. There we go. Yeah, I definitely felt like I was being watched. And, you know, that felt totally acceptable in terms of, you know, whatever they felt they needed to do, really. Yeah, and when I've played with mouse and keyboard, I've just avoided using the mouse. I've used the keyboard for all input, and certainly been able to get by with that. But that was just for trading, and in situations where there was any combat, I was able to basically kind of run away. So I never did mouse and keyboard in combat, but I know that there are other players that are very, very skilled. So my big kind of epic journey across this system is to find out what this is. I honestly don't think it's an Earth-like world, but it was worth checking out. You know, I don't have any rush really to get to the next waypoint, so I thought I might as well go over and see. You know, I don't really feel like totally comfortable. I actually have a pretty serious stammer, and that's a lot of the time when I say and that's to kind of reset my sentence so that I can get myself back into a flow, and so basically, you know, I say that more than would have been expected. You know, when I've listened to Chris Roberts talking, for example, he says a lot in a very similar way to me. So I actually wondered if maybe he had a speech impediment of some sort when he was growing up, and that's how he learned to cope with it as well. So I'm actually someone that would never do kind of public speaking. So it's really weird actually that I'm streaming games and talking all the time. I'm going to overshoot because that's what I do. But yeah, I mean, people are certainly, if you think about the majority of streamers, or the majority of streamers that I've seen anyway, they do seem to be among the English speakers, like UK and US. You know, very, very strong. Actually, the majority of US streamers oddly seem to come from one state, which is Texas. Yeah, it's a high metal content world. That's disappointing. I was hoping for something more.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one, engage.
What are you asking really about, Jerome? Like, I don't know if it's been made completely obvious, but I have to call the person in the chat whose name begins with L. I have a stammer saying his name, and I have to call him Domeldel because my stammer won't allow me to say his name. And when I'm speaking normally, I think through my sentences before I say them quite a lot, and that's why I'll say and as well, is to give myself time to process what I'm going to say before I say it. And sometimes I think I seem less educated than I am because I use less complex words and have a lesser vocabulary because I find a roundabout way of saying something instead of saying the specific word. I don't know if what I've said just makes sense, but I'll not use the strength of my vocabulary because I have a stammer issue with one of those words, so I have to say it in a huge long roundabout sentence to get to what I was actually wanting to say. Yeah, I don't really mind, you know, what your username is. It's just that, you know, as you can probably tell, when I've tried to say it, it doesn't really come out very smoothly.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Fuel scooping.
I don't know what it is. I think it's very stereotypically English to have a speech impediment of some sort. Maybe that's Hugh Grant's fault that I kind of feel that way.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Oh, that's interesting.
Frameshift drive charging.
I wonder if it's the time of day that I watch. The two that I watch primarily are full-time streamers. So it's when I'm working, I'll have a streamer on kind of on a second screen.
3,
If I'm in my office, it'll be on a second screen, or if I'm in the front room with the laptop, it'll be on the TV.
Fuel scooping.
And Texas is the same time zone as me, so basically when I start work in the morning, if I put on Twitch, it seems like they're just kind of starting their day at that point. Yeah, I work from home. I actually have done since 2005, May 2005. That's funny that it's misspelled. I've been a bit lazy actually with my previous Elite streams. I haven't got my screenshots up yet from, I think, the last two. I have some really nice screenshots. A few of them I didn't show on the highlight edits.
Frameshift drive charging.
There's good and bad things to working from home. The most social thing that I actually do
3, 2,
during my day is actually the live streaming. Other than that, you know, my only interaction with other human beings is sending emails and reading emails and stuff like that.
Fuel scooping.
I feel a little bit bad sometimes about missing out these moons, because there's a few that I know are actually spectacular. If you ever go to the Sol system, which is the system that contains Earth in this game, there is a moon called Ariel, like the Little Mermaid Ariel, and that moon, it's got it doesn't have an atmosphere, per se, but it does have kind of low level ice and moisture and stuff. So on the lit side of the planet, which is in the sun, the kind of the huge kind of canyons through the ice, you can fly through them, and it's actually kind of cloudy and misty because of the moisture and what is essentially a low-level water-based atmosphere, and you can fly through that cloudy area. If you actually go to my channel, I think, not right now, because obviously I prefer you watch the stream, but I think if you search for Ariel, yes, Ariel, the first result that pops up should be the one where I visited. So that's quite a cool moon to visit, and I'm kind of ignoring them all. Like almost everything that I can land on, I'm not bothering to go and look at, really. And hardly scanning anything. That's an interesting one. Looks like an ammonia-based atmosphere with a ring. What is this? Another ammonia-based, but that's way too far away for me to bother. Okay. Should be able to scan a couple of these without even leaving the star. Carry on scanning. Fuel scooping. Yeah, there we go. I can carry on fuel scooping while I'm scanning these gas giants. You can clock in wearing boxers, that's right. But at some point your dog will step on your toes. The generational ships, were they kind of ships that were sent out before Lightspeed? Is that something in the lore of the game that I probably don't necessarily know? Water-based life on that one. Like, I've always intended to try to get into that a little bit, read the Elite books and things like that. I just haven't put the time in. I read the one that was with the original Elite game, and then there was one with Elite 2 as well that I got about halfway through. And then I listened to Kate Russell's audiobook, which is based on Elite Dangerous. But missed all of the stuff in between.
Fuel scooping.
Yeah, from what little I've heard of the story behind Elite, It does seem like they've put a lot of thought into everything, and it's relatively realistic in that it's something you can imagine the human race doing at each stage. I think Star Citizen have actually done a good job there too. From what very, very, very little I've read of the Star Citizen lore, which is probably more than Elite, really. Oddly. It's very believable.
Frameshift drive charging.
You know, you have the humans consistently kind of screwing up and trying to involve themselves in things that aren't actually going to go the way that they expect.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Really looking forward to getting a shipping notification telling me that my
Fuel scooping.
new T16000 joystick is on its way. Stellaris, no, I watched a few people streaming it. Yes, there is an Alpha Centauri in this game. This game, all known star locations are actually programmed in. There you go. So you have Alpha Centauri B, Proxima Centauri, and basically these are a huge long distance away from each other. And if you look at there is a station there, Hutton Orbital Truckers Cooperative, and that's, you know, just over 5,000 light seconds. But this one, if you look how far away this one is, it's 6.8 million light seconds away from the star that you jump into. I think it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to travel to this station once you've actually jumped into the system. This one? I think that is in. They do alter things and correct things as things are found out, but their model has actually been surprisingly correct quite a few times, which I found interesting.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive
If
charging.
there's one thing that Elite does, it definitely gives you a sense of scale. You can travel faster than light, which is one of the things that it was obviously a gameplay decision more than
3, 2,
realism.
1, engage.
But yeah, so that's one of the major things that they have kind of let go, is that you can travel faster than light, but it still does and still can take you an enormously long time to get to locations within systems.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with Star Citizen, you have what is essentially instant jump from one end of a system to the other, and then to get from system to system, you just jump instantly to the wormhole, or whatever they're going to call it, and then that moves you to the next system. Oh, okay. So it's not. Things could take a little bit longer. You think it's going to take half an hour to go from one side of a star system to the other sometimes. So that's, that's comparable with Elite. Probably just not quite as punishing.
Frameshift drive charging.
Right. I mean, if they are going to implement the wormhole model, then essentially they can do shortcuts anywhere they want to as well. So that makes things actually a lot nicer.
2, 1, engage.
The only real concern with Star Citizen is like, I don't know how the refueling works. I don't know if like with Elite, I'm jumping from star to star and I'm refueling at each star. I don't know what it's going to be like with Star Citizen with refueling of the kind of jump drive capability. Do you know anything about that?
Fuel tube disengaged.
Okay. In Star Citizen, you'll need gas giants for refueling. Alright.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, and some ships do have fuel scoops.
4, 3,
Interesting.
2, 1, engage.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficult thing. Like with Elite, they often have an idea of what the player base wants, so they implement the mechanics for that, and then basically they have the beta players come in and test things and give feedback, and then they'll make little adjustments from that. And then when it gets out to the public, if the public have a vastly different opinion from the beta players, they'll sometimes tweak things again. So that's the thing with Star Citizen, is that it has not even got anywhere close to that stage. So it might be that for a long time they have the ideas and they can tell us how they're going to manage fuel, but they might not actually implement it until a long time from now.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I think actually it might be quite a lucrative
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
quite a lucrative job to own one of the huge ships that can fit smaller ships inside it. You could literally work as a rescue vehicle.
Fuel Fuel scooping.
You've just got to be careful that when you've picked someone up, they don't kind of mutineer and take over your ship.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive.
You actually
charging.
have the Starfarer, Andre? I did manage to get on a Starfarer with my Star Citizen stream
4,
twice.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
One of the times I got on one, it was bugged and I couldn't actually walk around. But the other time I walked around quite a bit, but I had difficulty finding my way around, and I never actually found, for example, anything that looked like a bridge or a control room. So I'm pretty sure that I missed at least one floor of the ship. Okay, so how close is that other star? Why is it tiny? Like, it's tiny, but it's only 281 light seconds away.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Frankly, I expect a star to be a lot bigger than that. Maybe the star that I jumped into was just huge, and this one looks small to me in comparison. I quite like that there's different fuel types. I think that really helps to allow people to get out of trouble in different ways, you know, if they do find themselves low on fuel. The thing with Elite, obviously, is that you pretty much, well, if you don't find a star to scoop from, you're screwed.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's as simple as that, really. Do you mind me asking how much you've spent, Andre, or would you prefer to keep that to yourself?
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Yeah, that system did have a really interesting orbit structure with the planets not actually orbiting anything. I think the stars were going around the planets.
Fuel scooping.
Yeah, Jerome, I think I've fallen foul of a neutron star a couple of times in Elite because I felt like I was really far away, and I started to take damage from it and things. So yeah, they can be a little bit tricky in Elite.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, that's the package that I originally went for as well, Andre, I think. Or maybe cheaper than that, actually. I think mine was 40, I think. It was literally the cheapest that came with the ship.
4, 3,
And then
2, 1, engage.
all I've done since then is I paid for a printed map of the galaxy map, and that actually came recently. I
Fuel scooping.
have a frame and I have it, I just have not put it up on the wall yet. I actually have the one from Elite Dangerous up on the wall. I was going to put it next to that. This is... See, if you wanted some variation in a system, look at the variation here. You know, like these two kind of orbit around each other. That's what that line means. It's really incredibly varied. You have moons off of moons as well. You have moons with rings around planets with rings. You have another kind of binary orbit there with those two, similar to this one, and a lot of kind of proto-planets, and a landable one that probably has a pretty high gravity. So very, very cool system. Just over 3,000. I mean, yeah, like you say, if you can afford it, I don't, you know, it wouldn't really matter if I had an issue with it. But you know, just to say, you know, if you can afford that, I don't really see an issue with that if you can afford that. It's something that you want to invest in, that's it, really. How much was the Starfarer by itself when you got it? Did you get... Were they having like a sale or anything?
4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Fuel scooping.
On my shelf to my right, I have Wing Commander Amiga, Wing Commander PC, Wing Commander 2, Wing Commander Missions, Wing Commander 3, another copy of Wing Commander 3, Wing Commander Privateer, Wing Commander Armada. I'm going to have to stand up because the door frame is in the middle of the screen, is in the middle of the row. Wing Commander Prophecy, and then through the other door, Wing Commander 4, Price of Freedom, and I have Starlancer, Freelancer, and then on the other side of the shelf I have Elite for the Spectrum, Elite for the C64, Frontier Elite 2 Amiga, Frontier Elite 2 PC, Frontier First Encounters UK box, First Encounters US box, and then tucked in the corner I have another copy of Elite 2. And then kind of on the top of those, in the shameful place, I have X3 Gold Edition, X2 The Threat, and X Rebirth, which I hardly played. Alright, I'm going to stop and take a screenshot. Flown far enough away that there's no like light pollution. They were really good games, Domo Del. Like totally storyline driven. You know, there was nothing open world about the Wing Commander games, but they were really good. The the one thing that I find kind of amusing these days is that one of the actresses that played a role in one of the ones that used full motion video was a porn actress, which, you know, you can have a laugh at now, but the quality of the games was good. The storyline was decent. Just very engrossing games, and the
Frameshift drive charging.
yes, Andre, one of the I can't remember whether she was like one of the mechanic staff, like ground staff, or was another pilot. But yeah, so I just thought it was really funny. She actually did, you know, from what I remember, like I was just a kid, you know, but from what I remember, she didn't stand out in her acting as being like unbelievable in any way. You know, she had a believable role and she played that role decently. Oh yeah, I can see why you're getting streaming issues. I will restart the stream. I don't know why it's doing that all of a sudden. Let me check one thing. Nope, they're turned off. And I'm immediately getting dropped frames. It's annoying, like I'm the only person awake. So I don't think it's on my end. It's probably something I just have to wait to stop happening. No, I don't think so. My streaming PC actually was updated last night. I'm just going to give it maybe 30 seconds.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then I'll try restarting it again. I don't want to just keep restarting like a minute apart. I'll give it 2 minutes on the clock. There's 30 seconds left.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage. Fuel scooping.
Okay. Restarting the stream now. If you're on Twitch, please reload again in a moment. Okay. Bitrate looks okay now. No dropped frames yet. Okay, it looks good to me. We'll just see what happens now. I don't know if it was a temporary issue of some kind. Yes, I get way better download than upload. I don't even know actually if I could change that the other way around, but I'll be quite happy to have a decent upload speed. Maybe I should look into that actually.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Do you guys know if
Frameshift
that's
drive
something that
charging.
is ever actually offered, especially in the US? Is that something that ISPs will actually do? Is to give you a higher upload speed, even if it means dropping the download speed?
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about what technology I actually use. I know that my TV actually comes through the same connection.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Okay, it looks like the connection is actually... I mean, I have dropped 18 frames in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so there might be an underlying issue which is still going to happen, but it's looked good so far, really. Oh, that's sounds like a very nice connection. I mean, if it's possible to pay for like an equalized upload and download speed, then I would probably be happy with that. I actually do a lot of what would be considered uploading, whether it's streaming or Skype, you know, lots of different video especially.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely sharing with people in my neighborhood. That's probably one of the major reasons why I'm able to stream at this time of night, is because it might only be me using the connection. Like in any serious way, there might be the odd person that is doing something, but it's probably lucky timing.
Fuel scooping.
4 stars in this system by the look of it. And pretty much a dead system.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
I'm still kind of surprised that they healed my ship like that. And all of my modules too, which
2, 1. Engage.
you know I really wasn't expecting them to heal the modules, because they get damaged simply by jumping and traveling.
Fuel scooping.
So would this location here, would that be kind of a Lagrange point in like a real with real physics? Like a Lagrange point right there, that these obviously orbit around that, and these are pulled around like by both stars and obviously orbit between them. That's called a barycenter. Okay. Looks like an interesting planet. Looks like it has continents, but again, I don't think it's an Earth-like world. The only Earth-like world that I've actually encountered on this journey, I did it when I wasn't streaming.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
2.2 itself will be free, but some of the features in it are locked to you owning the Horizons update. Obviously anything which is planet side is limited to Horizons, because you simply can't access it if you don't have Horizons. And I think there are certain other things that are limited by not having it as well, but I don't have a list of exactly what is and what isn't. Probably if you Google that, you'll see what is Horizons required in 2.2 and what isn't. Barycenter. So, the barycenter is the center of mass of two or more bodies that are orbiting each other, or the point around which they both orbit. It is an important concept in fields such as astronomy and astrophysics. Okay. If you're going to buy, Jerome, I actually have a link that you could go through, which is, let's see, I'll just put it in the chat. Hold on a moment. Okay. There you go. Although I don't think that it actually works, because I've had like links or clicks shown in my stats from them, but they've never actually assigned any purchases to me. And then what I actually did is I bought a second account through my own affiliate link, and I didn't get credit for that either. And even though it was with a different email and all of that stuff. So I actually contacted them and said, you know, well, I know that at least one has been purchased, and then they credited my account with that one, but I don't think it's actually working. But if you want to buy, you can buy through my link if you like. It's like an it's like a banner service. Like if I wanted to, I could plaster my website with banners for all sorts of companies. And in that case, that's banners for Frontier, and it's actually a monetary compensation, like any advertiser would pay. But like I said, nothing's actually come out of it yet, except from the second account that I actually bought myself that I have never used. So, oh well. 18 jobs. I still don't think this is going to be an Earth-like world. I should probably scan that star. I think I can scan it earlier than the planet. Thanks. It's pretty cool that you're buying the game, actually. Be sure to add me as a friend in the menus, and then when I'm playing in the same mode as you, then you'll be able to see me on the system map and see where I am. And you can do voice chat, you can send text messages through the game, and then when I'm back in the kind of populated space, you will be able to wing up with me as well. And like if we're doing combat, we can go to a location, and anything that I destroy, you would get half of the bounty for, and anything that you destroy, I would get half of the bounty for. So kind of winging up with someone like that, it's a good way to get kind of a head start with credits. Because obviously, you know, when you first of all get started in the game, you won't have the capability to take down some of the bigger ships. So if you wing up with someone who can, it really helps you to get those credits. It's kind of funny that I can post links in chat. I guess that's because I'm the chat owner. But, like, because I don't have any spam protection turned on at all yet. I'm just not popular enough for spam bots. Watching on Twitch sometimes, it's funny because on the Xbox app for Twitch, when someone posts a link, it doesn't filter it, so you get to see what the moderators see. I don't know why, but basically, if I'm logged in on my laptop so that I can respond to the host when I'm watching a Twitch stream, I'll just have the chat open, and I can't see things that are posted on my laptop. But if I'm watching the same stream on my Xbox, it shows me the filtered out links. I think that's kind of funny. And someone forgot to implement that on the Xbox app. Okay, so what was that? I actually didn't take the time to look. Okay, so it's a carbon dioxide atmosphere. I'm getting really close to this nebula now.
Frameshift drive charging.
So I've been streaming for 15 minutes since I had to reset, and I haven't dropped any further frames than I had 2 minutes in.
1. Engage.
So it seems like the connection has cleaned itself up.
Fuel scooping.
Just south of Chicago, in the south suburbs.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Oh really? Whereabouts are you from?
Fuel scooping.
It's annoying when I do that. Again, I don't think this is an Earth-like world. It's probably an ammonia-based atmosphere. Okay.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Unfortunately, I often pronounce Milwaukee as Milwaukee, and that's mainly due to Alice Cooper. For some reason, I can't get that out of my head. So, carbon dioxide atmosphere. From what I can tell, Texans Texans that I've heard anyway, seem to have kind of a non-accent. You can tell it's an American accent, but it's very hard to say that they're from Texas.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
I really miss the winter. In the summer, my whole garden just
Fuel scooping.
falls to pieces. There's there's a couple of areas in my garden that I like, don't bother to actually go to and pull them up. That there are literally kind of 4-foot tall weeds, and I hate the heat. I really don't cope with it very well here. But as soon as the winter is over, I miss it so much. I like going out when it's freezing cold. And walking with my
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Siberian Husky. I don't think you can do that, Domal Dell. They don't. Yeah, they don't allow you to set up your own kind of infrastructure. I actually think that they permit out every bit of work in that. Like I think some areas of the country, they're not even. There isn't even more than one kind of cable supplier, even. I think it depends where you are. Like there's areas in the United States where they have laws that I think are kind of crazy. Like you know, being from down in Texas, like free range and stuff like that. I think it's insane. You know, basically, if you keep cattle and you live in an area which is free range, you can march your cattle across basically anybody else's land that you want to. And I think it's up to them to put up fences to keep your cattle out. It's not up to you to keep your cattle out of their land. I think that's how it works. I was talking with the owner of Phoenix International Raceway, and he was basically saying that there's like a mountain next to the NASCAR track, and he was saying that there was cattle that was being free ranged like over that, and it was basically you know, in the way and everything, and he basically he ended up where, in order to stop that being considered free range, he had to actually make it a part of his facility. So he set up seating up there and stuff like that, and that basically made it then private and stopped the cattle from being free range there.
Fuel scooping.
If my understanding is correct on that. You know, I just think stuff like that, it seems really crazy to a British person. Like, I can't really imagine someone just driving a herd of cattle through my garden.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
There are some really strange laws, especially in the US, that are really old laws,
3, 2, 1.
and things that they're resistant to change. I think, like New Jersey, for example, you can't pump your own gasoline. You have to basically pull up your car and wait for the attendant to pump it for you. So lots of interesting things that are different in each state. Mainly just to confuse visitors, I think.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Yeah.
scooping.
I'm doing a good job with my fuel today. Really hasn't dropped a lot. Really taking my time and scanning. I'm very, very close to the nebula. I actually will be there pretty soon. I think I'll see what the system looks like that I'm supposed to be going to, and then I might actually land somewhere else so that I can find myself a nice view.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Yeah, we live in an interesting technological age too, where law isn't actually keeping up with technology too. Like if you think of laws where people aren't supposed to use their phone while they're driving, you know, the law did not keep up with that at all. It was obviously you know, dangerous, but it took actually a really long time for law to be put in place in this state for it to be illegal to do it. And I think in a lot of other states it's not actually illegal yet. And still see plenty of people in this state that with their phone up to their ear.
Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive
Like
charging.
it's really not difficult to use. You know, most phones these days come with headphones that you can use and speak through. You know, you don't have to, you know, be fumbling around with anything, looking at anything.
2, 1. Engage.
Yeah. Hello, Neil.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage. Fuel scooping.
Again, I don't think that's an Earth-like. But we'll go and scan it anyway.
engaged.
So, contrary to what I said on Monday, I think it was Monday, I won't be streaming Friday night this week. My wife invited some people over, and they probably won't have left by the time I would normally be streaming. So I will say at this point that I'm not streaming on Friday, and then if I do, surprise. I'm not sure if that kind of living is illegal here or not. I don't know if they would be called vagrancy laws here. So someone is a vagrant. I think that's the right word. It's a US word. It's not something that I would say in England. I think it's a US word. Like, you can be charged with a vagrancy thing if you don't carry ID or something like that, I guess. I think it's basically just a way to kind of pick on homeless people. But, you know, there was a point in my life where I was homeless, so I can appreciate that someone can literally be 2 paychecks away from being homeless and probably not even know it. Tomorrow, no. What day is it? It's okay. So it's Thursday morning my time now. So we're talking about 2 days. Sorry for the time zone confusion. Wasn't an Earth-like, just as I suspected.
Frameshift drive charging.
My kind of homelessness story is yes, it is Thursday over here now, as in it's 12:54 a.m. So it's just Thursday.
Fuel scooping.
My homelessness story involves me moving to a different country for work, and then the person that hired me not telling me that his company was under financial stress at the time I was hired. And obviously, having moved over there, I had spent pretty much everything I had getting over there. And basically, when his company went down, I went down with it.
Frameshift drive charging.
And that was in 2001. In 2001, when the Twin Towers went down, I had just actually started my recovery and got out of a homeless hostel at that point. And at that point, I was working as a security guard, which was the first and easiest job that I could get at that point. And it was a pretty long recovery. The way that the benefit system worked in the United Kingdom is totally messed up, in that it actually pushes you down and almost kind of keeps you homeless when you are trying to get out of it. because the hostels that you stay at, they charge, I think it was something like £200 a week for you to stay there. And I can totally understand, you know, with someone that is an alcoholic that you're having to clean up vomit after, or, you know, an old person that really should be in a care home but isn't. You know, the fact that they had to deal with a lot of crap. But, you know, they were getting a huge amount. And then as soon as I started working, I was working from the hostel. So my benefits stopped, and I had to pay them that amount, which basically meant that I ended up with £15 a week that I was able to save. That was it. And I had to keep working and work over 60 hours a week every week for almost 2 years to be able to save up enough money to pay for a renter's deposit and first month of rent to actually get out of there. So, but until you actually manage that, if you do it legally, you know, because what you could do to do it illegally was still claim like you weren't working and work at the same time, and then the government would pay the homeless hostel, and then you could take the money that you're getting from your job as well. But if you do it legally, then they screw you. So you know, it's a very, very, very messed up system. Kind of like the immigration system in the United States, which I've also been through. So yeah, interesting stuff.
Fuel scooping.
Yeah, they do similar here and in the UK. They'll kind of bump up your earnings if you're below kind of what they consider to be a poverty line. They'll give you kind of what over here are called food stamps and things like that. But for my situation, all that was available to me is what I did. It's a very kind of unique situation with homeless hostels and basically how much they get paid. It's like they're almost being paid to take care of me as if I was kind of an invalid or not able to take care of myself. But obviously I was. But that's not how they were being paid. and then you know, as soon as I was getting employment, then I had to compensate them for the fact that the government was no longer paying them. That's basically where the hole came and where I had to fill that hole. Otherwise I would have had to have found somewhere else to live without any money to find somewhere else to live. So you kind of trapped in a homeless hostel, the way that things were at that point. I don't know if it's changed since. Or you do it the illegal way, or you don't ever bother going back to work because it's too difficult to afford to do it. Like I said, it took almost 2 years. And then after I was done with that 2 years, then I had to pay off the debts for the things that I had to sell to get myself out of financial stress in the first place. I had a motorcycle and stuff like that I was paying off for 3 years after I had sold it, which was painful.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
And then at this point, looking back with hindsight, I should have declared bankruptcy, but I didn't. And it's especially annoying because 2 years after I cleared my finances in the UK, I left the UK and came to live in the US. And obviously I have a social security number over here, and am never going to use my UK credits, which I cleared, ever again. So, you know, thinking back in hindsight too, I could have just run away from my debt, but I didn't do that either, obviously. Wasn't expecting to move over here.
Fuel scooping.
So yeah, I've been through a few situations. Like, not your average situation. That's way too far away, even if it's something interesting. I think actually, like Neil, if he's still here, I've actually known him since before I was homeless. I've known him a long time.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's nice of him to pop in and watch the stream. I don't yet. I'm a legal resident in the US, so I pay taxes. I actually pay a lot of taxes because I'm considered self-employed. So I effectively I get completely abused by the IRS because I have to compensate them for the fact that I don't have an employer paying into Social Security. So I'm paying my own unemployment being self-employed. So yeah. But yeah, I'm a legal resident in the US. I have a Social Security number, an Illinois driver's license, pay taxes, and I own a house, 2 cars, all that good stuff. I will become a citizen at some point. Probably when my resident status is up for renewal, because it might be easier to become a citizen than to go through that again. So yeah. Yeah, the IRS aren't very nice, really, with their demands. But you know what's really funny? I like to mention that obviously the Boston Tea Party was, I think it was, you know, part of it was just because they wanted to rebel against the king. But one of the kind of taglines of the Boston Tea Party was that they were being taxed without representation. So no taxation without representation. That was one of the taglines. And me here as a legal resident, I pay taxes and have no representation. I have no vote or anything like that. So I just think that's funny that I'm in that situation as an English guy.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, if you're a US citizen and you live abroad, you still have to pay something to the US government. That's something that Boris Johnson, who is a British politician, actually has to do. But I think he was going to renounce his US citizenship to get out of that, which I think is really funny.
Fuel scooping.
I have a friend who she actually was a racing driver in the 70s, and she actually never wants to become a citizen. She's quite happy to just kind of renew her status every 10 years.
Pursuit disengaged.
No, not that one. Divina Galika. She's a legal resident, the same status as me. I live in the US because that's where my wife and kids are. My wife is from pretty much where we live.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two, one. Engage.
Besides yeah, my wife's been to the UK. She's not that often though. We don't have a lot of kind of expendable income, so it's actually cheaper to have my parents come over here, even if we're paying for it. That's still going to be an ammonia atmosphere. So yeah, I mean, I do, like, I don't like that really, that I'm not getting to go over to the UK as much as I would want. But it's generally cheaper for my parents to fly here than me to go over there. And, you know, what that means though is that, you know, we don't get to see extended family at all. That's probably a complicated thing to have got through immigration. An Icelandic citizen and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is that India? I always get confused between whether that's in India or Pakistan. And right now, if anybody's from the opposite side in the chat, they probably hate me. I don't know. It's its own country, is it? So when India split into India and Pakistan, did Bangladesh split off into its own country? It used to be East Pakistan. Okay. I was in New Orleans last month, and it was way too hot and humid. I think I told you, right? I did 25 hours of driving in 48 hours and surveyed a track, which was, according to the GPS thing on my phone, it was 22 miles of walking, I think it was, that I did while I was there, within those 48 hours. I was a busy boy. So yes, not an Earth-like world again. And methane-rich atmosphere. I think that might be the first one of those I've actually had on this trip. Is this... why isn't it letting me jump? Route unavailable? Oh, I'm actually in the system. Okay. Alright then. That confused me there. Alright, so I'm going to open up the forum on another tab, another screen, and look at the expeditions thread, find out exactly where my waypoint is. Waypoint 3. And we're going to the moon, which has a ring. Okay. Well, the discoveries, I mean, they're all fairly similar. You know, you have gas giants with rings, gas giants without rings. You have, but the thing is, the game isn't complete yet. It's being incrementally updated. Like right now, the ones with the blue arc over them, you can land on those planets. The ones without, you cannot. So that's because they haven't finished the technology of that type of world yet. So, like theoretically, at some point, you'll be able to go and skim through the upper atmosphere of a gas giant. On Earth, for example, you'll be able to go and you'll be able to land in London in some futuristic city and stuff like that. But they haven't done it yet. So it's the thing that's different with what you're seeing me doing is that you're seeing me exploring these locations that aren't populated. Like, nobody lives in these systems. Whereas if I go back to Sol, okay, so in terms of distance, that is how far away I am, all the way over there. Populated space, I think, is probably about this circle right there. Actually, I can probably show you. There we go. So most of the populated systems are actually inside that colourful blob. So to give you scale, there you go. So when I'm this far out, you know, you are just seeing the galaxy. But in my opinion, you know, the way that the galaxy looks and the things that are in it, it's beautiful to romp around in, effectively. I think I'm coming in from the opposite side to the images that I have in the forum. So this may be difficult to find the crater that they're actually showing me. Let's see. So okay. Orbital period of 90 days. Been streaming for almost an hour now since I had to reset it, and I lost another 100 frames at some point during the last kind of 40 minutes, but that's effectively nothing, so that's been pretty stable. They do actually give latitude and longitude, but it's really easy with the screenshots that they provide. If you come in from the right angle, like literally when you get closer to the planet, they've got kind of like stepped zoom screenshots in the forum thread, and when you basically see the crater that you're supposed to be heading to, it's just really easy to just point your nose at it and go down on land with what they've provided. But if you don't come into the planet from the right angle, then you have to find it with the coordinates. And I think if I actually get in the shadow side of this moon, it actually might look really, really nice. So I might actually just go and land on the shadow side, regardless of where I'm supposed to be, just so I can see what the lighting looks like. Nobody that I can see nearby, no. It's most likely that everybody else is taking their time getting here way more than I am. They have a few days, whereas I really want to next play this on Saturday if I can. Rather than having to travel every day. So the fact that I'm here already is fantastic for me. Like I don't see anybody else at all.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
The game might be higher volume. Maybe that's it. Okay, is that better compared to the game? I guess I could have turned it down by mistake. Let's see. No, I don't think I did. Oh, unless Windows Update changed something. Let's have a look. Recording devices. Levels. No, I'm still at 100 on my mic level. I'm gonna land and pretty much go straight round to the dark side, and you should see everything becoming like totally red, and the sky just suddenly kind of brighten up once the light of the star has gone away.
Orbital flight engaged.
Alright, there we go. So now we're getting... Okay, are you guys back? Oh, OBS has crashed. Why has it crashed? So according to YouTube, the stream is working. Can you guys see and hear me or not? You can hear me. Okay, can you see the stream? I'm hovering right now at 5.2 kilometers. Okay, I'll try going down. You tell me if it's moving. Okay, good. Alright, I actually had to restart the streaming software and change the server that I was streaming through to a different location. I am? Okay. Oh, it's probably because I don't really have any engine throttle in. Very low throttle on the engine. That was really weird though. It like OBS basically stopped broadcasting. I then exited. I clicked stop streaming. Then I
Landing gear deployed.
okay. Still having issues then? It's still freezing. Oh, okay. My voice got louder. Interesting. I wonder if it was bugging out in some way. Hi to Big Ziggy on Twitch. Okay. Gotta be careful. What are you saying nope to, Jerome? If people on Twitch are confused, because I do have a few... Yeah, Big Ziggy, I actually stream through YouTube and Twitch at the same time. I can see the chat from both. And normally I try to make a question that I've been asked on the other one fairly obvious to the other viewers. But the people on YouTube are actually talking with me because I just had some stream issues that they're helping me to realize are over. OBS itself crashed. OBS is the utility that I use to stream through. Touchdown. Okay. My username on YouTube is WheatleyT. WHEATLEY T. OBS is open source, yes. A fantastic utility for being open source. Well, for even not being open source. If they charged a lot of money for it, it would still be an awesome utility. It's a shame I can't see more of those rings really from this position. I'm going to do a vertical screenshot instead of that one. Yeah, but you know what I mean, the vast majority. Uh-oh, server's down for maintenance in 30 minutes. I guess that will be the end of the stream. If not shortly before then, if I get done taking screenshots. I might move to another location in a little bit. Hi Big Ziggy, I'm glad you found me on YouTube. Unfortunately, you've joined me when I am having streaming issues. I don't necessarily know. Yeah, it seems like things have kind of fallen apart. Changing servers, it's not working right. Okay, well, I'm just going to take some screenshots. If you Okay, looks like it's resumed. Looks like I have 0 dropped frames. I have no idea what that was, and literally no matter what server I went on, everything, it just was not working right. And I've just figured out what it was. Okay. Exactly the same issue that I had the other day, and it's my fault. Taking high resolution screenshots and they are syncing through OneDrive. Totally my fault. I'm very angry with myself. I'm very, very, very sorry about that. Silly me. Silly, silly, silly me. Okay. Yeah, it's totally not normally like that. I think I'm fairly reliable. I think, you know, I see other streamers having issues too occasionally, but that was totally my fault. Totally and utterly. Very sorry. It'd be nice if there was a notification from OneDrive actually when it's updated a file, because then I would have known what it was immediately. Yeah, I've been looking at Twitch support during the daytime when I don't stream, like when they're under heavy load. They seem to have a lot of issues. you know, and I stream to them because there is a community there, and it's a community that I'm a part of during the daytime. I watch Twitch streamers when I'm working during the day. You know, I have nothing against Twitch, obviously, that's why I'm including it. But yeah, the thing that I don't like about Twitch, though, is that when a stream dies, it doesn't usually automatically restart. It certainly doesn't do that on a lot of the applications. It doesn't do it on the Xbox app for Twitch. So if you lose connection, then basically you've lost your viewers. They don't often reload. I don't know, I'm taking a screenshot off here actually. Okay. It is a fairly nice location. Maybe I can get a screenshot with some dust. Everybody needs a screenshot with some dust. Ouch. I guess that did some damage. Alrighty. This is actually a nice look here where the nebula ends. Alright. It's a lot of little rocks. Okay. I'll show you actually when I round up the stream, which I'm going to do shortly. They're actually going to do server maintenance in 20 minutes anyway, so they're kind of forcing me to end the stream. I don't really like that. I need to be closer. Is that a tire track on a rock? It is. That amuses me. Must take a screenshot of tire track on rock. And okay, so let me round up where I am for you. This is where I am. And I'm in kind of an expedition. And let me switch this back to realistic. There we go. So started off at Sol. Waypoint 0 was actually here at the BD22 kind of single system nebula. And then Waypoint 1 was at the Vale West Nebula. And then Waypoint 2 was at a nebula right there, that one. And Waypoint 3, which I have unfortunately called Bookmark 4, is where I am right now. I've just actually reached it. I'm a few days early. But there's supposed to be about 300 commanders all doing the same route. And this is the route that we're doing. Winding up the journey at Sagittarius A. And then when I get there, I think it's quite likely that I'm going to carry on and try to go to Beagle Point and back, because frankly I don't want to waste 25,000 light years of distance to not do it. So that's probably what I'm going to do. But basically each one of these waypoints we have a week to go between them, according to the schedule. So this is actually going to take me a decent amount of time, and it's a nice relaxed way of playing the game that I sort of need, because I've been a little bit burned out with the regular gameplay, the missions, the combat, everything like that. So the nice thing really about Elite that I will endlessly praise it for is that if you want to take a break from Elite Dangerous, you can still play Elite Dangerous. You can just do something completely different. That you know, and I really like that, because this is nothing like the mission boards, the combat, the regular slog that can be the game. And if you burned out, I wanted to do something that was relaxing, and this is pretty much what I've got, and I'm very happy with this. I did, just to let you know, I did actually sign up after registration had closed for this expedition, but they let me in, and then I actually set off from Sol after they had already left waypoint 1. But I still visited those locations. Then I actually crashed into a planet about here. So then I had to start over, and then I obviously speed ran straight past these, didn't visit them again, and caught up by here. And then now I'm actually ahead of most of the group. So I'm quite happy with my progress. Oops. These rocks are trying to kill me. So yeah, I think I need to put up a little note in OBS that I have to actually switch off each time I stream to tell me to turn off OneDrive, so it doesn't start to back up my screenshots. Are the rings moving below the horizon? Let's have a look. Unfortunately, I'm below my ship right now. There we go. It actually looks like they have gone a little bit down. Not a huge amount. That's actually quite a nice shot. Maybe there. The only thing that annoys me is that you can't turn off that kind of orange cube above the SRV on your ship. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the waypoint, which I have the coordinates for. We are looking for 33.9, 173.41. Okay. Can you actually, on the system map, can you set a waypoint? No, you can't. Okay.
Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
And I just started to get some dropped frames. Maybe it wasn't all my fault. Yeah, that's paused. There's no other computer in the house that's on. So yeah, maybe only the recent stuff was my fault. Damn it. Alright, I'm just going to get to my waypoint. Okay, I'm going the wrong way. I think maybe there. Okay, I'm gonna have to go the whole way around the planet, I think. Yeah, massive amounts of drop frames again, and I don't get it. I really don't. Where are the actual rings? Okay. That's more like it. Okay, getting close. 33,973. Okay, and stop.
Orbital flight.
Alright, let's have a look at the planet's surface. Okay. I'm at 36, so I'm not directly over it. The screenshot I have is actually during the day, and this looks quite a lot different. That's actually really nice lighting though. Okay, maybe that's worth a screenshot. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the thing, you know. I don't understand why the streamer's been doing this. Like, unless OneDrive is just totally ignoring my commands and is doing it anyway. Like, it won't give me the option. Oh, there we go. Yes, close OneDrive. No, it's not OneDrive. And like every other device is off. I don't... It's so incredibly annoying. Hi David, how are you? Okay, maybe... Okay, 5 minutes. I don't think I'm going to get landed in that amount of time anyway. This planet looks so different right now compared to the screenshots I'm seeing, even though, like, I'm pretty much over the coordinates. I think if I log out right here, this will be good. And then on Saturday I can actually come down and land, because I'll be able to see other ships doing it. But right now I can't really recognize where I'm going. Okay, whatever. End of stream. There we go. Huge amount of dropped frames. So annoying. Alright. So I'm really sorry for the dropped frames and the stream issues tonight. It's not, as other people have said in the chat, it's not really that normal. There's been a few times when it's screwed up, but I don't know why. Like right now it's saying video output low on YouTube, and I'm sending faster than I normally send, so I don't really understand what's happening to the frames. It's really weird. G Bison is saying that Twitch is fine. Maybe it is just a YouTube thing. That's interesting. Okay, well, I do stream on both. You can follow me on YouTube or what's OS? It is Windows 10, but the streaming machine updated last night. There isn't an update downloading, as far as I know. It's got minimal things installed on it, because it is literally just a streaming PC. So, like I say, I don't get what the actual issue has been. The only issue that I know of, obviously, is when I had OneDrive open, when I just started taking screenshots there, and I closed it, and the issues came back. So, I don't know. Anyway, please follow and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube, and I will be streaming again, I think, Saturday night US time, and that will probably be a quick Elite Dangerous stream, and then I might switch to something else after I've been to the waypoint there. But we will see.